Hi, this is Orko Nundi. As a data science and business analyst, today my sixth task is to predict to use decision tree classifier on Iris dataset. So for this reason, I have imported the required libraries, and from the sklearn library, I have taken this dataset package. And since sklearn.datasets is a big name, so therefore a alias is kept, that is dataset, and by using this alias, that is dataset, I am taking load underscore iris function to load the entire iris dataset into iris underscore set variable. Right. So here I am printing the iris underscore set variable, and here are my columns, 4 columns, which are termed as feature names, and all these 4 columns are put into this data variable, and this data variable I am creating as a data frame by using the pandas function. Now this in the is set there is a target column, so I am putting this target column of the is set into data frame this data by creating a new column called species. So I am printing this dataset data, and first 9 rows of the data I am printing, and here the first 9 rows of the data set of data are printed. Now this EV's dataset contains 4 attributes. They are sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. And there are 3 classes of iris plants. They are iris setosa, iris versicolor, and iris virginica. Iris setosa is labeled as class 0, iris versicolor is labeled as class 1, and iris virginica is labeled as class 2. Now I am exploring the dataset. So there are 150 rows and 5 columns. And now I am trying to find out how many points of each target class are present. So there are 50 points, 50 data points in class 2, 50 data points in class 1, and 50 data points in class 0. Therefore, since there are equal number of data points are present in each class, therefore this dataset is balanced. Now I am checking if there are null values are present in dataset or not. So it is found that there are no null entries are present in each column. Now here I am visualizing the sepal and petal dimensions. So therefore I am created a dark grid theme by using the set underscore style function from the SNS package, and from this scattered plot where the sepal dimensions of each flower of each category are plotted. So here I am creating a scattered plot of the sepal dimensions of the flowers of each of the classes 0, 1 and 2, and here sepal length is plotted on the is kept on the x-axis, and sepal width is taken on the y-axis, and therefore this plot gives information that the species 0 flowers belong to the species 0 group, has their small sepal length and high sepal width, whereas the flowers belonging to species 1 and species 2 category, they almost have same dimensions, same sepal dimensions. Therefore species 1 and species 2 cannot be distinguished from their sepal dimensions, whereas species flowers belonging to species 0, they can be separated from species 1 and 2 on the basis of sepal dimension by using linear boundary. Right. Now here the petal dimensions of the flowers of each class are plotted, and it is found again that flowers belonging to species 0 has small petal length and small petal width, and it can be observed that with the increase in petal length, petal width is gradually increasing. So therefore there is a linear relationship between petal length and petal width. Now therefore I am analyzing the distributions of sepal and petal dimensions of each flowers of each class. So therefore it is found that the distribution of sepal length is somewhat right skewed, whereas the distribution of sepal width is normally distributed, whereas petal length and petal width has no distribution. Now I am making a covariance matrix with the help of heat map, which is of size 8, length 8, and width is 4, breadth is 4. So here this plot gives an insight that sepal length, sepal length and sepal width, their correlation value comes out to be minus 0.12. Since it is a negative value, therefore sepal length and sepal width are weakly correlated, whereas petal length and petal width, their value comes out to be 0.96. Since it is a positive value and close to 1, therefore petal length and petal width are strongly correlated. Now I am splitting the entire dataset into train and test dataset by keeping 20% of the data into test dataset. And since this is a classification problem, we will import the decision tree classifier function from sklearn library. Right. Now here I am finding the shape of the test and train dataset. Now I am separating the features dataset and target dataset. Therefore, I have to put all the columns of the dataset, sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, all the features column of the dataset is put into train underscore x, and the species column of the dataset, that is the output column of the dataset, is put into train underscore y variable. Similarly, it is done for test underscore x and test underscore y. Now I am creating a decision tree model CLF, and here I am fitting the training dataset. And after fitting the training dataset, I am putting the x test underscore x data into this model, and therefore I am predicting the output, which is stored in the predictions variable. And after that I am evaluating the accuracy of the decision tree model, and it is found that the accuracy of decision tree is 96%. Therefore, we can now fit the model for the entire data and test for the new data. Therefore, our new model is D31. So, decision tree classifier is created. Now, I have let us visualize the decision tree to understand better, right? Now, I have installed these required libraries, and here I am visualizing the entire decision tree graph, right? Now, when the petal width is less than equal to 0.8, if it is true, then this path should be followed, and if this is false, then this path should be followed. Now here there are three values in the value. So 50 means there are 50 flowers belonging to class 0, and 0 means there are 0 flowers belong to class 1 and class 2. So if this condition becomes true, if this attribute value becomes true, then it is found that 50 flowers belong to class 0, and if this attribute value becomes false, then this graph should be this path, either this path or this path, according to the attribute value should be followed. So here in this way this decision tree graph is created. I hope I've explained all the points in the video. Thank you.